Hello everybody and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary. Tonight we're going to be talking about 12 different whiskey related items ranging everywhere from free to hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Here is the Decanter glass, something that I'm sure you all recognize. You can do a couple different things. Either you could buy a set of these, you can get 2 for $13, 4 for $20, or 6 for $28 currently on Amazon. Or you can go to glencairn.com and you can actually get them personally engraved. This one was from Wyoming Whiskey. I got it at a whiskey tasting. But you can do a monogram. You could also upload your own image and they'll put it right on the glass for you, which is pretty cool. One thing to note is that any serious whiskey drinker basically cannot have enough of these things. When I personally do whiskey tastings at my house, I like to switch the glasses out in between drinks. So, you know, it might make a lot of dishes, but I personally think it's kind of neat to just give out new glasses every drink. So, this is a great gift. It's kind of a no-brainer, and it pairs really well along with, you know, a bottle of whiskey as well. You can give them a couple glasses and a bottle of whiskey. Perfect gift. All right, up next are sphere ice molds. So these things will run you about $8 to $10. They're a little piece of rubber, and you fill the tops up here with water and freeze it. And what you end up with are these little sphere ice. And you can put that in your bourbon or your scotch or whatever you want, and it will chill your drink without diluting it. Now, one thing that you want to know is, you know, you don't need to go expensive on this thing by any means, but if you go really cheap, like I think I saw one for like $4 or so, you may end up with one that ends up making these little, I don't know, little they're basically non-sphere ice molds. And, you know, it's not really that big of a deal, but it kind of defeats the purpose. All right, up next is another fairly obvious one, a flask. Now, flasks are cool. You know, they certainly kind of feel a little classy or fancy or whatever. And one thing that's neat is they do tend to fit into pockets. So, not that I would wear it in my shirt pocket, but they fit into pants pockets easy, or, you know, a backpack or whatever. They're easy to take around with you. I've taken mine golfing. I've taken mine, you know, to the movie theater before. It's just fun to have a flask. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that you do not need to spend a fortune on a flask. If you go and, you know, Google around a little bit, you'll find them anywhere from like $3 up to a couple hundred for a copper hand hammered whatever, who cares. Totally not worth it, you know, unless you just have a ton of money to spend. You don't need to spend a lot of money. This thing was $25, right? So it's stainless steel and it's covered in leather and it's got my initials on the bottom. I think this is kind of a nice little charming thing. Makes it look a little bit more elegant. But you know, the stitching on the back is nice. Like I said, $25, that's all it is. And you really don't need anything more than this. Now, one thing that you want to know is they sell all different kinds of flasks. They have everything from gimmicks with, it's got like a built-in shot glass. Don't bother with that. You're going to lose the shot glass. It's going to take some of the space away. This thing only holds 8 ounces as it is. If you're taking some of that space away for a shot glass, that seems like wasted space to me. They have other ones that are like real leather, which, like, why would you do that? This thing's going to get wet. You got to wash it at the least, but if not, you know, you're probably going to get some whiskey on it. But just go for something that looks nice, something, you know, get a little monogram and get somebody something cool. Something that you also want to know is if they already have a flask, don't bother. Most people don't need more than one flask, unless the one that they have is kind of like garbage or so. But this is a really cool gift for anybody who enjoys whiskey if they don't already have one. And for $25, not so bad. All right, so my next idea is actually really good if you're on a budget, because most of the time it's going to be free. So I want you to go online, find the largest liquor store in your area, and check their calendar for whiskey tastings. You don't want to just show up if it's like one distiller showing up to kind of show off their whiskey, but find, like, you know, multiple distillers. For example, this place near me called Julio's Liquors, I live in Massachusetts, they do this awesome whiskey tasting thing like a couple times a year where they open up their whole basement, they get like 50 vendors there, and first of all, it's swamped with people, but you don't even notice because you're having fun and whatever. It's a really fun thing to bring somebody to, and like I said, it's usually going to be free. One thing to keep in mind though is when you're trying like 15, 20, 25 whiskeys or so, even if you're trying a very small amount, that can sneak up on you. So try to set up some sort of transportation for you and your friend ahead of time. All right, so the next item on the list here is called a whiskey journal. While doing some research for this video, coming up with that previous idea of taking somebody out to a whiskey tasting, I remembered that whiskey journals were a thing. So I went and did a little bit of research, found this company, 33books.com, and they seem to have the best product. So I contacted the website administrator and just said, hey, do you have any digital assets I could use for the video? At which point he said, hey, I think these would probably look better on camera, as a physical asset. So he sent me some stuff. Because of that, I decided I'd give some away. So what I'd like you to do, if you want to enter to win one of these, then just go ahead and comment on the video. Just tell me what your favorite whiskey is. And although it's not required for the contest, if you want to share it to Facebook, I would really appreciate it. So anyway, let's talk about the whiskey journal. What you've got in here is, actually I'll go to the front page because it's filled out, but what you can do is you kind of track the whiskey, you track the distiller, the age, all this stuff about it, you write down whatever notes you got, and then you've got this thing, it's a flavor profile down at the bottom, and you may have seen these before. Basically you just kind of make little marks and it kind of helps to define how full-bodied the whiskey is. But anyway, they have several of these. In fact, they have them for more than just whiskey as well, if that's something that you're interested in. But they have one for Scotch, one for whiskey, and a bunch of other ones on their site. So, if you are interested in this product, I would recommend it. As I said, I was already going to promote these guys before they sent me anything for free, so whatever. Either way, these are about $5 a piece, and you can get 3 for $12. You can get a 30 for $100, but this is a kind of a cool idea. And actually, if you were going to do kind of like a home tasting thing with a few of your friends or whatever, these are a cool thing to have as well. You can just kind of hand them out ahead of time, be like, hey, keep track of this stuff. When I do tastings at my own house, we usually go through like 7 or 8 different whiskeys, and this thing might help to keep some of that information straight, especially when you're getting towards like number 5 or 6. You start to lose a little bit of your memory. Now, if you're the kind of person who prefers to make something for other people, you may really like this next item. So I'm going to put a recipe down in the description for whiskey salted caramels. These look amazing, and the recipe actually looks pretty easy. So the one thing I will say is do not make these with a whiskey that you would not drink yourself. The next item is an easy one. Chances are, if you know this person well, you probably have an idea what their favorite whiskey is, so buy them a bottle. So the next logical progression is buy them the next step up from whatever they really love to drink. In this case, let's say I love Glenlivet 12, because who the heck doesn't? Glenlivet 15, although there may be some naysayers out there, tastes pretty good, tastes oddly like banana bread. But if you want to take that next step, or if you want to go even another step and get the 18 is fantastic. So either way, find out what they like, buy them the next expression up, and see what they think. So the next item I'm going to recommend is a decanter. Now, there's a couple things you want to look for. You want to look for a crystal decanter, unleaded of course, and you probably want to spend a little bit of money on this. You don't want to get like a $15 decanter, because if this is going to be something that you want the person to really appreciate and put whiskey in and store it or show it off even better, you're going to want to spend a little bit of money. Now, you can get a lot of different varieties of whiskey decanters, a lot of different looks or whatever. Try to match something that may go with their house or whatever, or maybe with their other glassware. But this is kind of going to have to be on you. One thing I would suggest, as I said, is crystal, unleaded. Spend a little bit of money. You really want this to be something that the person's going to really appreciate and want to show off. All right, so the next item I'd like to suggest is a personalized bottle of whiskey. In this case, I have a bottle of Woodford Reserve here. It says Happy Father's Day with the name of my 2 kids on it. My wife and my kids got it for me for Father's Day this past year. So I think this is a great gift. When I opened it, I was actually really blown away. I didn't even realize that they did this. So I think you could probably get the same effect if you were to get something like this for whoever you're buying for. It's not much more expensive, if at all, from the distiller. Just go to their website, try to find out if they do personalization. As I mentioned, Woodford Reserve does, and they'll send you the thing and you just stick it onto the bottle. So I think it's a great gift. I loved getting it, and I think that whoever you're buying it for will also love it. So, much like, the beer explosion that has been happening lately, everybody in the world is brewing their own beer, you can actually age your own whiskey. So they sell home whiskey aging kits. Now, these things are cool, but there's a few pitfalls. You want to make sure that whatever you buy does not require outside flavoring. I've found this on several websites. It's kind of like you get some new make, and then you get a charred oak barrel, and then you get, they call it essence, and it'll be something like cinnamon or something. Like, you're basically making Fireball whiskey. Who cares? You don't want that. What you want to do is find something. Google age your own whiskey, or home aged whiskey. Should end up costing you about $100 to $150 for this, and it should be done in about a few months or so. Now obviously this isn't going to be like aging something for years. That's going to be completely out of the realm of this video, and probably if you can spend that kind of money, then you'll know where to look better than I can. But home aged whiskey, home aging of whiskey could be a really fun thing, and really neat for the person to experience. Lastly is a product called Drinks by the Dram, and their website is drinksbythedram.com, and they are single serving drams of whiskey. Now they have thousands of them available, and you can buy as many as you want and give these as a gift. So you can really make any price point that you want. They have a couple of gift sets. They have the Advent calendar, which the basic model, which is still 1 through 24, but their more common whiskeys will range you about $200. All the way up to the rare old whiskey, which is going to cost somewhere above $12,000, like $12,500 or so, and just absolutely insane. But they also have these other things called Christmas crackers, which Christmas crackers are these little wrapped up drams, so you don't know what you're getting, and you get 6 of them for $60. Makes a really cool present, actually totally affordable, and it's just a fun surprise to not know what you're getting. So that was my 12 ideas for gifts to give to somebody for Christmas or for the holidays, whatever you'd like. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that this video helps you in buying somebody a gift this season.